After performing your first few runs across the water, beginners often drop into the water and do a water start in the opposite direction to get them back to where they started. However, before too long, you're going to want to learn how to perform transitions or turns. There are many different types of transitions you can perform when you're experienced. However, the transition you will first learn when beginning is known as the slide turn, pictured here. We can break down this simple turn into two parts. First, when moving across the water with your kite at 3 or 4 o'clock, steer the board upwind by pushing on the back heel and bringing your body weight slightly more over the middle of the board. This will slow your speed dramatically. And secondly, before you stop moving altogether, you need to steer the kite in the opposite direction, performing a move very similar to a power stroke performed during a water start. However, as you're already up on the board, not as deep into the wind window. It is important to keep the power in the kite throughout the whole transition. When steering the kite back in the new direction, try not to steer the kite directly over your head through 12 o'clock, yet through the middle of the wind window's power zone to keep the power in the kite. Now, when you feel the pull from the kite in this new direction, straighten your front leg, previously your back leg, and lean into the harness to absorb the power or pull from the kite. As you had moved the board upwind prior to this turn, the board should be in a good position to now travel downwind in the new direction. Then, once moving, heel steer to edge the board so you're heading back across the water in your new direction. So, to summarise, step 1. Steer the board upwind, move your body weight slightly forward as you do so. Second, steer hard in the opposite direction, lean back absorbing the power from the kite and straighten your front leg. Edge the board and head off in your new direction. Simple. Well, perhaps not that simple. Slide turns require very good timing between the kite steering and the board steering. If you push too hard on your back foot, you will slide the board out. If you don't lean back enough when changing direction against the power or pull from the kite, you can get pulled forward into the water. Or if you're too slow with the kite steering, you can sink back into the water in the middle of the transition. Once again, good kite control and keeping the power in the kite is key to getting the slide turn mastered. And, as always, you'll need to alter your technique to suit different wind strengths and water conditions. Don't try to rush the slide turn and try to break it down into the two parts mentioned here. First, the board movements and then the kite steering. It will seem to all happen at once when you first attempt this, but breaking it down into two parts will help in learning this very useful transition. Getting the timing right between the board steering and your body's movement and the kite steering into the other side of the wind window is vitally important for a successful slide turn. Watch these clips carefully and alter your timing until you can perform a smooth transition from one direction to the other. At times, you may also need to perform a slide turn quickly to avoid collision. Before initiating any slide turn, check upwind of you, above you, and downwind of you to avoid collision. Collision with another kiter is dangerous and will certainly end both of your sessions. As you master the timing of this turn and can perform it in all water conditions and wind strengths, you can increase the speed of the board and kite movements and add a little style to your slide turn. The slide turn is great fun and the simplest first transition to learn when beginning kite surfing.